Fuzz, we are here.
Yes.
We've been waiting for this brother. We've been waiting to talk to this dude for a minute, man. I mean, this dude, he's a Harlem cat. He's a HU representative.
Okay, you got to throw it up.
Yeah. Well, we got to say which HU though. He's a Howard University representative.
To be clear.
To be specific. He has a production company, Dark Energy Pictures.
Oh, we're talking about it.
He's a married man. We have Amin Joseph. He is. We know him from the show that we all love, Snowfall. Amin, thank you for stopping by the FAQ podcast, man. People calling him right now because he's so in demand.
Because he's popping right there.
How we gonna do
doing?
That?
Yeah, how you doing, bro?
Man. I'm great, bro. I'm ecstatic. I'm great. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. Yeah. You know how us black men should be, man. Thank y'all for having me.
No, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
Listen, we got to start here. You know, we know you from Snowfall. You play Uncle Jerome. It don't even seem like you playing, bro. I mean, it's
so convincing.
The cast, the way this was cast, the way you guys gel on Snowfall. Me and Fuzz talk about this all the time. We love the show. I almost quit the show, Fuzz, because I'm emotionally drained after every episode.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is a real roller coaster, man. But thank you for stopping by, man.
Thank you for having me, man. And listen, John Singleton told us, the late great John Singleton told us that at some point the rest of the world would catch on to the show, because after the first season, the first two seasons, we would be on like, press tours, and we'd be like, yo, it feel like there's like some of our, like there's a little segment, like we got our core fans, but it felt like it wasn't really reaching the rest of the zeitgeist like that. But he told us, he said, like, listen, this show is going to be huge. It's going to catch on. It's going to take people some time. Right. So it's good to see that people have kind of caught on to where you guys are at. You know what I mean? Like, you're seeing more people binge it even right now and are catching up. And I think it's a benefit, one of the benefits of the pandemic, to pull, something out of something bad, is that people were able to sit down, be with their family a little bit more, and maybe, be able to binge content like this,
Right. Yeah, it's an amazing show. First of all, let's rewind back, man. Happy belated birthday, bro. You just celebrated your birthday. What did you do last week for your birthday?
Man, I was with family. We went to eat. Wife bought me a computer. That's the type of stuff you celebrate these days. You be like,
stuff you need, you need, but you ain't gonna buy it yourself.
You know what? These days, when you can buy everything for yourself, it's kind of interesting. These days where you can kind of buy everything, things become very I don't know. I feel like things become very transactional sometimes in relationships, because it's like, oh, I'm buying something for someone. So to me, it's really the time to sit down with your family, to be thankful and to look back at all of the things that you've gone through,
right?
With said person that you've grown with, and see where you're at in life. For me to be on this planet and do what I love and love the people that I love, my community, that to me is what I really take from my birthday. All the other stuff is extra,
Got it, man. Yeah. Dude, I mean, I don't believe your daughter can watch the show, but does she understand what's going on with you when you're going out in the street and people are like, yo, I love you from the such and such, and you know?
It's still crazy to me. I thought I did a good job at, I got Sheila on, I got a different body language, I got all this stuff, and people still recognizing me. The mask is up to here.
Yeah.
Like, how, Sway? But no, it's dope to see people that respond to the show, in a positive way. And she's too young. She just turned 3. Her birthday's after mine. So she just turned 3 this past weekend. So yeah, all she knows is what's my man's name? Pete the Cat. That's her. That's
Okay.
her.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah.
That's her
That's what she
superhero
on.
right now.
That's what she on right now. Hey, so
Yeah.
Amin, tell me this, man. You born and raised in New York, right?
Yeah.
Born and raised in New York. Listen, I had no idea. I feel like you were such. I'm born and raised in Compton, right? So I'm super West Coast, and I had no idea that. I felt like this. You were already in LA when you, because you played a part so well, bro. And even when your characters start doing the having a sound shop, and I know what that is for LA. Like back in that era when people was selling crack and getting their cars hooked up with sound and alarms, and then you got the Jerry Curl. Like I'm like, yo, I felt like you was already here, but that was some real West Coast. I mean, you got Dub C, helping out with the dialect and all that, right? But like, how hard was it to get the LA roll down? Like, you have the whole mannerism, the whole like jumping out the IROC and all that. Like,
yeah, I think really, bro, is kind of like you get an audition for John Singleton, first of all. At the time, Kim Coleman, amazing black casting director, cast me in this. You get a call to come, and you realize, the material. And at that first moment that you get that material, no matter where you're from, you're trying to relate to it as much as possible. Fortunately for me, I came up in a crack epicenter as well. So I had so many firsthand dealings with the drug and people influenced by the drug, people that have become incarcerated from the drug, people that are strung out and lost their will to live the past life that they had on the drug, people that are functioning and will tell you get out their face. They perform better on this drug, and you can and they can debate you on that. I just seen so many iterations of how this drug has affected my own community. So the circle of truth around my head was then to make sure that I could bring an authenticity to your culture, because it wasn't I'm not depicting the New York culture. I'm depicting. So for me, it's really important to me that California natives, most, be specific, South Central, Compton, Watts, Inglewood natives, that they love this portrayal. That's what means something to me, because it's for your big homies that you remember, that you grew up watching. Yeah. It's to bring humanity to those men that were three-dimensional people. They wasn't just one thing, and their history can't be discarded. So John Singleton gave me an opportunity to do that. That's the circle of truth around my head, to bring authenticity, that believability, and that's what I use my craft, my art to do. So when y'all say that, it really means a lot to me. I know y'all be hearing actors and all that, because they really be about themselves. Me, I pour everything I can into getting right your culture. Yes. Because that, at the end of the day, when it's all over, it's going to be a bound volume of like, did you do justice to the people that came before you, and all these stories that we didn't have told. John Singleton, he able to put a frame around the humanity that we have from our culture, our black culture, that a lot of times we don't see. Yeah. So if you give me that opportunity, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to get better at it. I'm not even in my bag yet. I'm going to get better at it.
Man. So he's coming back for another season, guys.
Thank God. Yeah, I mean, well, we don't want to give it away if people haven't seen the show. Please watch Snowfall. It's arguably one of the best shows to ever grace television. But the one thing you said, Amin, was just to bring a humanity to some of these people. And again, the reason why I was saying to you, man, I wanted to not kind of quit the show, because it brings back so many bad memories of family members. It brings back bad memories of growing up in neighborhoods and seeing what happened, and we didn't know what was we didn't know what this was. Like, even it was something that happened this season where you guys go down to Little Rock, Arkansas, right? And you introduce, I don't want to give it away, but you introduce, them to a new way of living. And we haven't even, I know we'll probably see that next season, like, what happened with that, but just the effects of just to bring humanity to the ravaging effects of crack cocaine was just, it was you guys do a great job day in and day out. Just talk about the chemistry on set, talk about the writers, talk about just the connection with the other actors.
Yeah, I feel like I've been on a lot of sets, and this particular cast, there's just not the typical ego that you see. Like, even this year is it's no secret that this year has been the most success that the show has had, as far as as far as it kind of people really buzzing about it. Like, it's trending #1 for 4 days after it is type stuff, bringing subscribership to the different platforms that it's on. At the same time, the #1 kid on the call sheet, I can ring him right now. He's not out of it, like, he's not, the moment isn't bigger than him because he's rooted. Same thing for me, like I said, I'm coming back to be better. We just starting. Right. And I think that's part of John Singleton too, it's part of that, he was always ecstatic about telling this story. He was, ecstatic. John would come to set, it's like jumping up like a kid. Like, let me tell you what you're gonna do today. Like, let me tell you what we got for you in a couple more episodes. Just wait, just do your thing. It was always about, it was always positive. It was always progressive, It was always about the work, the story, the people. So when you have that, and then you have really talented people, our entire cast is really talented, and a lot of people don't know them from past projects. Right. So you don't get kind of thrown off by the perhaps star power or just by the former portrayals that people have done. So I think it allows you to immerse, into our story in a different way in these times. And I think for the cast and the crew, don't forget the crew, the people that show up, sometimes 10 hours, 5 hours before I do. They need to pay their, during this pandemic, it affected us actors. And yes, we had to come back and be the ones to take off the protect, the PPE, the protective stuff. But at the end of the day, there were people that also put themselves in danger, and as those crew members, those people that sometimes John handpicked, he hand tapped those people. Oh, wow, you're doing what? And you want to get in film and television? You do security? All right, I'm going to find you a way to be able to do this security job that's going to also allow you to get benefits and be able to find a way to, move your way into this industry. That's the type of guy that John was. And I feel like the rest of our producers, Dave Andron and Tommy Schlamy, and they've kept John LeBou. They've kept that kind of energy. We have black hair and makeup department and black, cinematographers and DPs, and it's a different looking. People talk the talk now because it's 2021 and we done went through the whole George Floyd thing, but there was the people that was doing this already.
Yeah. Now
there's the people that their legacy was that, and that was John. So, the crew and the cast and all that is just a beautiful family.
Let me ask you a question, Amin. You did just to quote you said this is the most success. This season is probably the successful Snowfall season, right? But how when John Singleton passed, what did that feel like to you guys? I know you know, I used to work with John back in the day. I used to intern for him at New Deal with Paul Stewart. But what was that when you heard the news with the crew? Like, how did that feel? Like, what did you guys experience when you heard John Singleton passed away?
It was heartbreaking, you know. It was heartbreaking. I can't lie. It was it was, for a moment it felt rudderless, you know. It felt like, yo,
Yeah.
you know. And there's a lot of things that go into there, you know. There's the big brother that I lose, you know, the mentor, the brother that was teaching me quote unquote the codes of how you navigate this experience of Hollywood and who we are as men and Black men specifically. And then there's that first. There's his family that you've grown close to, that you watch them, you know, suffering this, you know, it was so spontaneous.
Yeah.
Then there's business. There's like, yo, we're literally shooting right now. You know, we were literally in episode 7 of season 3.
Wow.
So there was like, you know, there's the like, do we stop? Do we pivot? Do we what do we do? There was that part. And then there was dealing with laying the brother to rest as well.
Right,
you know,
right.
Being able to go to the different oh man, it was just a lot. He left a vacuum, you know. He left a gaping hole.
Yeah.
No one can you know, look and see that that's not what it is. But what he also did is he empowered people while he was here. So it was a little easier to say, this is what the brother put me here for. I know my marching orders.
Right.
You know, I think for the writers, same. I think for the crew members he put on, you know, that's the thing when you don't do it just by yourself, and along the way you've taken the best of people and you've taken their advice, you've empowered them in the position that they're in. When you leave, it don't go to shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you were empowering people in a way. It wasn't like, oh, nobody knows where the codes are. No one, how we gonna tell the story? What would you know, if I'm sitting in a place where, you know, someone had to spoon feed me my my consciousness in this project, then if someone like John leaves, it leaves you rudderless. You are out here without a paddle. Yeah. So yeah, it was really difficult. I think, you know, mainly John has a son, 7. Big shout out to little 7. Big shout out to all of his children.
Yeah.
But you know, 7 is like 2 weeks older than my daughter.
Wow.
You know, we would have birthday parties and stuff together. So it's all of these little circles of truth of humanity, you know, that he represented, that mean much more to me than the artist, but it's all together, and that's what makes him such a monument of a person.
Right,
man. Right. Man, amen. Like, I mean, dude, you know, I know this is your breakout role, and I mean, you got you have some you come from some rich places. You know, when you say Harlem, people know that from around the world. When you say Howard University, you know, people know that around the world. How'd you get into acting? Like, what was that? I saw this clip. I was looking on Instagram, and Saigon, rapper from New York, he posted this video of like an independent film of you guys like back in the day. So, you know, just tell us like how did it come about? Like, you like, hey, I want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I was a shorty. I grew up in a world famous Apollo Theater. It was like my first job. You know how they give you the summer youth jobs, keep the kids off the street, put some money in your pocket. Me and my best friend did a job like that for the Apollo Theater when I was probably either 14, maybe 14. Yeah, probably 14. And from there, we were around, we were just around. We were knuckleheads. We would be running around. They were just trying to keep us out of trouble. But being there, the influence of seeing performances, and I already knew I had this kind of thing, like this little je ne sais quoi for performing, but no real structure to it. So it was there. I'm not going to front the legend, the Oscar winner, Monique, at the time was the host of the Apollo Theater. And she, along the way, you get people that speak life into you, speak promise into you. It's very important, in my opinion, to do that. And that's what she did. She spoke promise into me. She came off the stage one day because my best friend told her I was an actor, and she pulled me and said, "Amin, you're going to be a star." Took me up to her dressing room, introduced me to her agent, said he's going to be a star. I'm going to see him in Hollywood. He is and she just spoke that she put a battery
in your back,
in my back. Goddamn, and that battery, you leave out of there. So, okay, what's the next steps? So maybe I should go to college and take theater arts. So that was the move to Howard, but she, that empowered me. And at the time, maybe I was doing commercials in New York, doing some, under 5 type stuff, just trying to get a big shout out also to Grace Blake, executive director of the Apollo Theater. The great.
That's Monique calling right now.
Yeah, right? Checking on
you. I'll do it, Mo. Whatever you say, I'll do it. I'm in.
That's it. He's all in.
I'm in. Sit in the car. So it's just really important that we remember the people that inspired, not the people that gave you the money or gave you the role. It's the people that, because it takes between then and, this is what, 30 years between, not that much, about 20 something, yeah, between that time, but those were the things that inspired me to take acting serious. And, I'm just appreciative of all the people along the way, all the acting classes and acting schools, and all of the people that were like confidants, and all of the people that said, man up and don't worry about where you're at or comparing yourself or worrying about other people's journey, all the people. And then mainly, myself, for the times where I had to look at myself and give myself accountability and say, sometimes you got to get better. You got to do better. Sometimes you got to want more. You got to change the place that you at. You got to change the environment you in to go get what you want,
Did you, have you talked to Monique, or has she reached out, or, kept their relationship going?
No, what's so real is that, the app Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So one of my friends actually asked me to come into a room, and Monique was in the room. So I was able to give her flowers, symbolically at least, and let her know and she remembered the whole incident. It was crazy. Wow. It was crazy. We was leaking. Everybody was crying in there. It was crazy. Another sister that has been done wrong, totally done wrong and that's the beautiful thing. I know her.
Right.
See, a lot of us know Monique. So this is wrong.
Right.
This is wrong. Give a fuck who it is. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong how she's being treated. It's wrong. Time will tell.
Yeah.
See.
Man, no. Let's talk about some of your, going to Howard, man. Like we always, Fuzz went to community. I went to,
Fuzz you went to the 13th grade, bro?
Yeah. That basically, yeah.
But no, like every time I hear about, I get jealous that I didn't go to a HBCU. I went to Temple University, but I just like,
you want to
man,
throw that out there like that.
Yeah,
Ivy League.
No. Listen. My Temple people ain't going to jump on me like, why you ain't say you went to Temple? But we always hear about Howard, like all of the, Howard's homecoming is so legendary, and you always hear about all of these people coming out of Howard. Who were some of the people that were, your classmates or you were acting with when you're at Howard?
Okay. Well, let's say like Chadwick was there. Chadwick was a year above me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the brother. Rest his soul. What else we have? I mean, it's so it's a lot of us, So you have in that time you got Frenchie Davis, you got Gabrielle Dennis, you have Tracy Toms, you have Susan Watson. That's on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so many. I don't like to do names and then forget.
Yeah.
All of my classmates that are dear to me that I would, just off the cuff, not come to name. But we're deep. The Howard players are deep in Hollywood, and even people from the School of C, which isn't the same as our theater arts program, but at the time, we love all our HU folks, and to the larger degree, HBCUs, period. Like anyone that's gone to a historical Black college, it's beautiful to be out here in Hollywood and see how many people that I run into. It really is a foundation of our higher education. And I know a lot of times these days we get a lot of things like, are we really learning what we need to learn? Mm-hmm. But I think the proof is in the fruit, and I would say that definitely going to an HBCU strengthened not only my education, but my cultural experience. Dope. Connecting to people outside of Harlem. It was pretty strong from where I was from, but then going to school and learning with a whole bunch of people from all over the world that come to that epicenter to learn and share in a culture. I think that's really important for us.
Dope. Yeah. Amin, let me ask you a question. You guys shoot on location a lot in LA, and I'm not saying back lot LA. I'm talking about you're in Watts, you're in LA. You guys at Hawkins burger stand in Watts. Like, yeah. How's it when you guys are actually on location shooting? Like, tell me the vibe of that.
What's the vibe of shooting?
Yeah, like you guys are actually in the hood. When I say in the hood, I'm like, you guys are on, like you're in the projects. I don't know if it's Nickerson or you guys are in Jordan Downs. I don't know which part of what.
Just even where my house is, is in the 50s. It's close to the 60s in Handel. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think you're asking like, what's the experience like with the community, like being in the community? And actually, I think that's what brings authenticity. Honestly, mm-hmm. I think that brings the utmost authenticity is to be in the community and to shoot in the community. And then there's a circle of truth to be able to give back to the community. If you're going to make something like this, which is really important to me, that's why anytime someone is like, yo, I need your aid, come out to this thing in the community, come talk to these kids here or whatever. If I can do it in my schedule, I'm going to be there.
Dope.
Because this can't be a caricature. This can't be someone coming into your neighborhood and then they put on a show and they leave and it doesn't do anything for the community, because that is just as draconian as the show that we making about how the government came in and do it, So that's important to me too. That's something that also I have to have a circle of truth around my head for, because John isn't here anymore to do that. See, John was that. John is that. John lives in the neighborhood still. John still has the offices like in Lamert Park. When I go out to eat with John would take me to taco spots and all type of burger spots. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking Oh, we ain't going to the Soho?
We ain't going to Katana?
We ain't going to Katana? Thought I was gonna get some raw sushi or something. Nah, we got you some raw sushi, bro. It was a sushi burrito. Like what? Like he he would always take me to nice little hidden gems. That's just but they making him his special, and he showing me, oh, that's the special, and that's kind of how it is when I go to Harlem and I take someone to New York. I'm not just taking them Midtown, So I appreciated that, and so we want to make sure. I love the fact that we shoot in on actual practical locations. But along with that, what I love most about it is that I'm able to be in that neighborhood, that these stories are about people like them or people that they know that have experienced these same things, and that I'm touchable, that I am accessible, not that I'm coming in to do a job and then gone,
Right.
It's very interesting talking to you, bro. Like I can tell that you went to HBCU. I can tell that you have a sense of pride of where you come from in Harlem, New York City. I also get a sense that it's just different when people kind of get like I'm not gonna say their break, or just like people get to know you when you're a little bit older, right? Right. And I sense that from you, but I also sense that you have so much more that you want to present to the world. Like I know you have your production company. Tell us about some of the things that you want to roll out and let the world experience from the mind of Amin.
Yeah, I have a production company. I think it's important for us to have ownership, to create our own IPs. And in this world that's ever shifting and ever changing, as far as even the financial model, we see everything that's going on now, right? There's a great shift going on. And I think for us, we don't want to be left behind, not putting value in ourselves. I think we got tricked with that okie doke once before, So to me, it's about being able to own my intellectual property, be able to create and co-produce with whomever, but we need to be able to put our we need more trust and more wills. We need to be able to transfer wealth to our families and our communities better. And I think that's something that if you got the knowledge, then it's up to you to do it and to talk about it, to put that on the forefront for people to understand. Now, that being said, what you create got to still be fire for people to want to, fuck with it. Let's just be real. So, I think I would love to see, more Black narratives in the sci-fi space.
Yeah.
In the engineering, architectural space, meaning mathematics. Blacks in mathematics is real sexy, and I don't think we've seen enough of it yet. Meaning let's tap into our genius. What about our geniuses? How did their minds think? You remember that movie, A Brilliant Mind, and they had the dude Russell Crowe. And what about when our minds? Don't our minds do that? Does it? Left brain, right brain, creativity, all type of stuff, right? So I would love to see that, the Black futurism, things of that nature. And then there's so many narratives that we can tell. And I know people are usually kind of tired of seeing narratives that are, what they call like torture based with the Black experience, like slave biopics, or things that deal with Black suffering. However, I think that we have to be creative, because we can't forget our history. We definitely need to tell our stories, but perhaps we can do that in different ways because our audience has been saturated with a certain type, coming from a certain, perhaps, I'm not going to say victim, but that a lot of times we are victimized. Do you feel me? So I just think that there's different ways for our emerging filmmakers to tell stories, And since I'm a storyteller and I'm also an actor where I can be used as a vessel to tell stories, that's what we're going to do, you know?
Got it. Tell us about this up and coming project, Geechee.
Oh man, I can't talk too much about Geechee, but Geechee is crazy.
Okay.
Geechee is crazy, as you know. Geechee Gullah people off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia, and it is let's say it's a psychological thriller, let's just say. But if you know the Geechee Gullah people, if you know the waters that come in from that Atlantic and the African slave trade that has happened from, you know, then you can kind of imagine what that would look like in a kind of heightened supernatural feature. That's Geechee. And I have another film, a biopic about Willie Mays Aikens, a baseball player, where I produced and I played a lead. And that should be coming out later this year as well.
Dope. Congrats, man. Congrats.
I see, man. I'm telling you, man. I see like a Golden Globe or Oscar in your future, man.
Yeah.
I'm just
that talk.
Nah,
Go
man.
Monique that thing together. Monique that thing together.
Hey, all right, here we go. Here we go. Baby. I said, no.
Baby, you gonna be us. I'm telling you, she said that. You know when somebody give you that, you know what I mean? Like, for real, y'all. Like, I'm a little snide-nosed kid running around the back of the Apollo, man. Really, you know, I'm at the furthest, you know, if the stage is this way, I'm at the furthest to the back, bro. You know, it's like, it's so crazy if we take the time to pour a little something, just a little something into somebody else. We can't do it all the time. Sometimes we inundate it with, you know, the inbox is way too full. You got your own, but y'all know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all know what I mean. It's taking a little bit of time. That sometimes fuels a person, and there's no connection to that. She didn't need to know. When I told her, she was like, "That's beautiful, baby." I was like, "Monique, I'll do whatever you need. You know what? You know, we can produce stuff together now. Like right now, I'm in a position." She's like, "Baby, pay it forward to the next person."
Dope.
And that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. But that's full circle. But that empowerment, that strength, that is what you feeling right now. Because that's fueling me to the next thing.
That's great.
That she was gracious enough to do that, you know? Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, I definitely look forward to doing some dope work. But you know, if one of them little goalie things ain't in the play,
it will be.
It don't matter as long as my bros like this go, yo, that portrayal, that meant something to me. Thank you for. That's what it is. That's what really fuels me. I ain't gonna front the little goalie thing. Let's just be real. That shit gonna sit somewhere and get dust on it.
Yeah. No, I mean, just
I'm not disrespecting it, but I'm just calling it.
No, we get it.
We got to be real true with this, especially when we ain't getting it from us. So,
it is. Trust me. But the maturation process of, because I went back and watched like the first 2 episodes, because I feel like, and me and Fuzz will talk after every episode of this, and we're drained. And he tried to mess my day up. Hey man, let me tell you what he did. This dude, because I have a house phone. So Fuzz calls me, and I'm about to watch the finale. He like, yo, I found out what happened on the finale. I said, Fuzz,
he's like,
get off my phone. I said, bro, I gotta call you back, bro. Like, please, because he was about to mess up my whole thing. Because he's out there in LA. I don't know if he got an advanced copy, and I'm getting pissed. Right. So I'm like, Fuzz, I gotta go. Bye. But I had to go back and watch, because I feel like every week we're so like, I'm drained after every episode, especially seeing the different turn of Mel last season and what we're seeing this. It was heartbreaking, because I got family members that went through that.
We know those. Though my favorite, I don't know, this year that I call Ruger Rome. My Ruger Rome episode I really liked. but that episode 9 of season 4. But I think it was episode. Matter of fact, it was episode 7. That is actually the episode where we lost John. Episode 7 of season 3, when Mel and Wanda go on a crack parade.
Oh, wow.
To me, that is some fine ass television, in my opinion. Like, because I remember those girls. I remember seeing girls that will fly. They were all older than me, because the people that were on crack, they were all older. But I remember, like, how you like a shorty and you see somebody, you like, yo, she is bad.
Fine, bad.
Yo, she is bad. And then you would see them and you like, yo,
what happened?
What happened? Yeah. And you can get whatever for whatever. And you're like, wow.
Yeah. That episode, let me tell you just what you said, because me and Amin were around the same age. And after that episode, it what happens with the show, it unlocks things that I pushed in the back of my brain, right?
For sure.
So I had a
PTSD, bro.
Yes.
PTSD. That's what it is.
I had a babysitter that she will watch me and my sister. And of course, now I wasn't a baby, but she would watch us when my parents would go out. And I remember seeing her and just like she'd start wandering around the neighborhood. And I remember leaving school, and I'm getting off the bus, and I'm walking past the cleaners, and she's with a dude, and she's sniffing, and I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? So with that episode you're saying, when you episode 7 of season 3, that's what made me think of that. And I hadn't thought of that in probably like 30 years. And this is the type of emotions that this show brings up. I went back and watched some of the first episodes, just the maturation process of your character, of how we saw you being the teacher, and then you kind of slide into like, okay, like I'm not the leader anymore. It's just so much that we get from this show, man. It's very powerful if people really sit down and watch and just see how this really happened in our communities, man.
Yeah. I'm like I said, we just want to finish strong at this point,
Yeah.
I feel like what John said, put like this, he fulfilled his promise. So I feel like it's up to us to fulfill the promise to him, and for us not to forget the rest of that brother's filmography, man.
Nah, can't.
Yeah.
Like John has done this countless times. So I also implore anybody watching to check out John Singleton's filmography. Maybe you're younger, maybe you didn't see Boys in the Hood. You heard about it, people talk about it. See that film. Go see,
Poetic Justice and all that. Yeah.
Rosewood and Poetic Justice, right? Higher Learning, and go back and take a look at those films and see that there is and then you get a real appreciation for Snowfall and what he was able to do with one of the last testaments of things that we'll see from John.
Amin, when are you guys going to start season 5?
We should be shooting in the fall. This fall.
Dang, y'all going right into it.
Yeah, so we'll more than likely see episodes early 2022.
And Lord willing, the COVID will be a little, you guys can move a little different during the fall.
Hopefully. Yeah. But we did all of this thing, the majority of it through COVID, which also, like I said, was a extra hurdle,
We didn't miss it. I didn't miss a beat. I couldn't tell. What was going on.
A lot of things moved and shifted, and I'm glad that the season turned out. The thing is, we didn't realize, like, as we were doing it, like, yo, this is still working,
right?
And in some issues, you know how it is with people. Sometimes you get more. I don't know what it is. Sometimes the more you have some added pressure, it just makes the experience even that much more charged. It's like, oh, well, dang, we got to go through all this COVID stuff. So by the time the actors get on set and they ready to do their thing, it's like, bye-bye.
Right.
It's on. It's not like I mean, we never really been like that, truthfully, but I do know that the added pressure of the COVID, all the protocols, all the testing, I call it nose raping. Oh my God.
Wow. You guys get multiple tests a day, I'm sure.
Bro, that shit, it was taxing.
Yeah.
So, I think all of that was put into the work as well. And yeah.
Do you guys know what's going to, like, are you getting a script per, like, how does it work? Are you getting a whole season at a time, or are you getting 1 or 2 weeks to kind of like go over a script and then go get busy?
Yeah, we're getting about, well, it was a little different in the pandemic because things had to be much more scheduled. You know what I mean? Things had to be, you had to lock in a schedule because it's all about the protocols of where you can shoot and stuff like that. So because of that, we got information on this as far as the scripts a little bit earlier than we would normally. I think normally the writers would like to be able to hold back as much as they can from the actors, as well at the same time informing you sort of kind of your trajectory. Like, this is the world you're gonna kind of be in. But if you give it to an actor verbatim, what does that really matter? Because there's always changes that could happen days and stuff before. So there's no reason for an actor to really be locked into a script before they're shooting it, honestly.
Y'all killed off a brother and sister in one episode, so they vibe probably was shot 2 weeks before. Like, oh man, what's going on? We both got it.
Yeah,
we wipe a whole family tree out.
Yeah. I mean, gee willikers.
You forget the baby. You forget the baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's true though. It's all the same.
We took their seed. We took the mama, the baby, the brother.
And Scully out here. Hey, let me ask you a question. I got for people that don't know, or some Snowfall fanatics. The episode when Scully was pulling up into the warehouse, and he was on. I hope is it Sherm? Was he dropping in his ear?
Mm-hmm.
It was PCP. I'm like, I didn't know you could put PCP in your ear. I didn't know.
Truthfully, you got to think about it. Any orifices is going to have nerve endings. The one we deal with the most is on, it's palatable, but you could probably put this shit in your, as long as it's going to go into the bloodstream, you good. I mean, if you notice the first episode of Snowfall, first scene that you see is the ex-CIA agent that ends up overdosing. Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember how he overdosed.
Oh, yeah. Because I went back to see it. It was, the Jerry Pinicoli alleged.
Yeah. Homie, Shorties was blowing like straws of coke. Homie's ass crack. Right. So it's like I think any nerve in is any way that you can, so the ear, that got to be a banger.
Right. I remember growing up and seeing people running around the streets because PCP, you'll get naked on PCP. So I remember I grew up in Compton, people just running down the street naked, just like strong and wrong. Like,
yeah.
So we got another question because me and Q talked about this. D-Ray Davis is a friend of ours.
Yes, we love D-Ray.
We love D-Ray. Does he actually shoot the gun at all in season 4? I don't document seeing D-Ray shooting the gun. I seen him come around the corner. I just asked a question. Did he ever shoot the gun?
He definitely had live rounds. Yeah. You stupid.
Yeah.
D-Ray. I love D-Ray on this. D-Ray originally was playing my role, right?
No, we didn't.
What?
Break it down.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, D-Ray. So Snowfall had two. This is the second iteration of Snowfall. The first one, Aunt Louie was played by Angela Lewis. I'm sorry, by Lauren London. Sissy Saint was played by Jill Scott.
What?
What? Leon was played by the Kevin character, and the Kevin character was played by Kofi from Queen Sugar.
What?
And I got a rap, guys, because I got the little toddler.
Yeah, but look,
I
man,
baby girl.
This is what we're gonna do. I gotta give
my brother.
Yeah, we gotta get our kids too, man. I mean, listen,
You know what I mean?
we're not gonna put no PCP in our ear. Amin Joseph, brother, thank you for just spending time with us. See? Hey, how you doing? Happy birthday! Happy belated birthday! we just some fans of your father. Hopefully friends.
Yeah.
Yo, Amin, much love to you, brother. We appreciate you.
Much love, bro.
Please subscribe to the FAQ podcast. Amin Joseph. Please check this out. We will see you next time right here, FAQ podcast. Download, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram. We will see you on the flip side.